Hey, welcome to the Explainer. So AI is just exploding, right? It's promising to change, well, pretty much everything. But all of that incredible power, it really hangs on one single, surprisingly fragile idea.
And that idea is trust. I mean, this question is everything. Because without it, all that potential, all the innovation, the efficiency, the breakthroughs, it just stays locked up. If people don't trust it, they're not going to use it. It really is that simple.
So how do you even begin to solve a problem as big as trust? Well, you can't just cross your fingers and hope for the best. You need a real strategy, a solid framework for getting it right. And that framework has a name, Responsible AI, or RAI for short. Think of it as a promise to your customers, your employees, everyone. It's a promise that the AI is going to be fair, that it won't amplify biases, a promise that your privacy is safe, that it's secure from bad actors, that you can actually understand how it's making decisions. And, this is a big one, that if something goes wrong, someone is accountable. This isn't some techie checklist, it's literally the blueprint for building trust.
Okay, so that's the game plan. But how are companies actually doing at putting it into practice? A huge new McKinsey global survey just gave us the answer. You can think of it as the world's first ever report card for responsible AI. And the global average score on a 4-point scale? It's a 2.0. To put that in terms we all understand, that's basically a C. It means most companies are, just starting out. They're setting the rules, figuring out the risks. They are a long, long way from having a mature, proactive system in place. They're passing, sure, but just barely.
But that global average doesn't quite tell the whole story. When you break it down by country, you can see some are really pulling ahead of the pack. India is actually leading the way, scoring a solid 23% above average. The United States is right on its heels. Now, the report suggests one big reason for the U.S. being up there is its, let's say, litigious environment. Companies are moving faster because they're really worried about the legal risks if they get AI wrong. So what are companies doing to boost these scores? Well, let's follow the money and see what they're investing in, what kind of payoffs they're seeing, and, of course, what's getting in their way. And they are starting to put some serious cash behind this. Most organizations are actually planning to invest over $1 million in responsible AI in the next year alone. And the data shows this really clear connection. The companies with the highest scores, they're the ones investing the most. So it's not just about spending money. It's that targeted investment is what really moves the needle. And you know what? That investment is absolutely paying off. And in some really big ways. This isn't just some feel-good ethical exercise. We're talking about real business results. The leaders in RAI, they're seeing huge benefits. A full 42% see better business efficiency. A third of them are reporting a direct boost in consumer trust, which is huge. And that's followed closely by a stronger brand reputation. The message here is crystal clear. Doing AI responsibly is just good business.
So, if the money's there and the payoff is so obvious, why isn't every company getting an A+? Well, the two biggest roadblocks come down to people and policy. The number one barrier cited by over half of everyone surveyed, a knowledge gap. Their teams just don't have the training yet. And right behind that is regulatory uncertainty. I mean, it's pretty tough to build for the future when the rules of the road are still being written, right?
Now, looking at those hurdles, you can see why some companies might be tempted to just sit back, wait and see how it all shakes out. But the data makes one thing incredibly clear. That is exactly the wrong thing to do. The report itself puts it perfectly. It says a lack of clarity should not justify a passive approach to RAI. In other words, just waiting around for the government to settle the rules or for some perfect training program to fall out of the sky, that's not a strategy. That is a massive, massive risk. So here's the bottom line. Building trust in AI has to be a proactive mission. The companies that invest now, before all the rules are perfectly clear, they're the ones who are going to win. They'll earn trust faster, they'll be way more resilient when issues pop up, and ultimately, they're going to be the ones who get to unlock the incredible power of this technology. And all of this leaves us with one final crucial question. As AI keeps changing our world at lightning speed, you really have to ask yourself, is your organization out there actively building trust? Or are you just waiting and seeing?